what we have right now is we can make our guy run all over the place, but sometimes maybe you don't want to have the player controlling the camera. So right now the camera is stuck inside of this guy's eyes, and we're controlling where he's looking with the mouse and with the keyboard. But sometimes maybe you wouldn't want that. Maybe you would want like a fixed camera or a cutscene or something like that where the camera moves according to a script. So what we're going to do right now is set that up. And I'm going to do this in a new scene. I'll save this scene that we have here. And I will make a new scene. And I'm going to do this with Command D or Control D if you're on Windows. And it's going to make a complete copy of this scene. And then I'll double click on it, make sure that I'm inside of Untitled 1. You can name this whatever you want. But all I did was create a copy of it. And what I'm going to do inside of this one is, instead of using the FPS controller, we're just going to control the camera ourselves. So I will delete the FPS controller object. And now if we run, nothing happens. We just get this gray screen, and that's because we don't have a camera in our scene anymore. So we can create a camera. Now we've got a camera, and it's just hanging out there. It looks kind of strange, but we will fix that. So we can move it up here and just kind of position it around, and make sure you have the crosshairs selected. If you don't have those selected, it'll it won't work right. But yeah, so now when we run it, we can see our scene. Now I'm moving the mouse around using the arrows. None of that stuff is working because there's no scripts attached to the camera to tell it how to go. We're going to build an animation to move the camera around without writing any code. We're going to give it a path to follow and give it some keyframes, and then Unity the animation piece will handle moving it around and making it look pretty smooth. So what I'm going to do is, to my camera, I am going to add a component, miscellaneous animator. And then down here, I'm going to go over to my animation tab. Now, if you don't have this animation tab, you can say Window Animation, and that'll give you an animation tab, and then you can drag it wherever you want. I'm keeping mine down here. But you can have it up here at the top too if you wanted. So anyways, with this animation tab, it says to begin animating a camera, choose an animation clip. We will create one, and I'll call this camera animation. And this gives us a timeline down here. These are in seconds, so I'm going to scroll out quite a bit because we want this to take a little bit of time. And then we can insert keyframes. So this little thing right here says add keyframe. So I will just add one here at the beginning. And then we will position this thing at another keyframe. I'll go out here like at 4 seconds. And at 4 seconds, we can move the camera all the way through here. Maybe it needs to go a little bit higher. And then maybe it would like to rotate a little bit. So I'm just positioning this thing, and notice all these things that are changing are red up here. And then we'll change my rotation, which I think is a Y rotation, and have it face like this. We could even raise it some more and angle it down. Let's see. Like that. And then, let's see, at 8 seconds, maybe we would want the camera way over here. This, go back some, and then let's rotate it again. This, and then maybe at 12 seconds, we'll set our rotations to 0 and move this thing back over here, close to where we started from. Like this. All right, now if we run this thing, I think it will actually show it going. Let's see what happens. So there we are, kind of spinning around. Zooming around. Whoa. Yeah, so it may get a little bit dizzy as it tries to figure out which ways to go. But you can put in more keyframes along the way to help guide it in the way you want it to go. So you were kind of spinning around backwards, which I didn't really intend for. But anyways, you get the idea. You give it the keyframes. You can give it as many as you want. Change as many things as you want. You can change, where the camera is looking, the angles, the position. You can change any of the objects on the ground if you want things to move. You can do that as well. So if you had, for example, a car that you wanted to drive back and forth, and just sort of give it false appearance that it has some kind of intelligence to it, attach an animator to it, and give it a start point and an end point, or as many points as in between. And you can even have, like, if you're doing a car, you can have it drive down one lane, turn around, and come back in the other lane, just by giving it the different keyframes along the way and how much time is between them. And Unity will figure out the rest. So this is pretty cool for doing cutscenes, or doing like an intro to a level where you want to show what's happening through your whole thing, or maybe you design a house and you want to do a flyby through it so that people can see your entire house without giving them control. This is how you do it. It's pretty straightforward and doesn't take a whole lot of time.